Hello world, welcome to United Cuisines, your show for international recipes. It's been a while since we uploaded a video and we would like to apologize by serving something addictively sweet today. Crème Brûlée, a French dessert consisting of a rich, jiggly custard base topped with a layer of crackling, caramelized sugar. So let's make some in this episode. We will only need a handful of ingredients, around 2 cups of heavy cream, the yolk of 5 fresh eggs, 50 grams of custard sugar as well as some raw cane sugar. Lastly, a vanilla pod will inject all the goodness into our custard, and a kitchen torch will help us to caramelize or brûler the sugar on top. Let's start by preheating the oven to 160 degrees Celsius or 320 degrees Fahrenheit and preparing our vanilla pod, for which we cut it along the long side and try to scrape the little vanilla beans out. In our case, this turned out to be more difficult than expected, for the bean was rather dry and hard at the edges and our knife was not as sharp as a proper kitchen knife shall be. Anyhow, eventually you want to transfer the inside of the vanilla pod into the heavy cream, and once done, drop the remaining whole pod in there too and set aside. Next up, separate the egg white from the yolk, placing the yolk into a bowl and the egg white into a storage vehicle of your choice so that you can prepare an egg white omelette when you crave one.
Look at this! They make a point of saying on the menu, no egg white omelets. Look at that!
So what? Have a yolk! It won't kill you!
Great, now drop the custard sugar into the bowl, grab a whisk and combine well. In order to create the custard base, we gotta add the heavy cream, which shall be brought to a slight boil first. Hence, we grab our saucepan, transfer the cream in there and walk over to the stove where we place it over medium heat. Make sure to stir frequently and not to scorch the heavy cream while heating it up. Once small bubbles rise to the surface, we can start tempering the eggs. We basically want to harness the eggs' thickening power and create a creamy base for our crème brûlée. This shall be done slowly or we run the risk of ending up with scrambled eggs instead. Therefore, start whisking, add a little bit of the hot cream and fully incorporate it before adding the next batch. We did it in around 8 batches in a few minutes of time and it worked out well. Once all the heavy cream and yolks are combined, run the mess through a mesh sieve in order to filter out the vanilla pod. Use a plastic spatula and make sure not to leave any valuable vanilla beans behind. Set aside and get your oven-safe dish as well as crème brûlée ramekins ready. We love our dessert to be of proper size, hence opted for the big ramekins of around 12 centimeters in diameter and around 2 centimeters in height. Grab a spoon, discard the foamy layer on top of the cream and fill up both ramekins almost to the rim. Emphasis on almost, leave a little bit of space as you still gotta transport everything into the oven. Next up, bring some water to a boil in a kettle and pour it into the dish covering half of the ramekins. Make sure not to pour anything into the cream or it will negatively affect the consistency of your crème brûlée. Now, slowly, very slowly, we transfer everything into the center of the oven. Depending on whether or not we have a steady hand like a surgeon, this can be quite challenging. Also, a glass dish and ramekins can be rather heavy, so keep your back straight and don't pull a muscle. Once in, take a baking sheet and slide it in one level above the ramekins. We want our cream to cook, but not burn on the top. Let it bake for around 25 to 35 minutes till it firms up a bit, but still is jiggly in the middle. If your food thermometer measures around 80 degrees Celsius in the center of the cream, you're on the right track. Take the ramekins out of the hot water bath, using whatever tools you have at hand. A rather wide burger spatula did the trick for us, and let cool down a bit before transferring into the fridge where our crème brûlée shall nicely set and firm up, at least 6 hours, better overnight. Once the time is right, get your kitchen torch ready, spread a teaspoon or 2 of sugar over the firm cream and begin with what used to be one of your favorite childhood activities, setting stuff on fire with your uncle's lighter. We noticed that raw cane sugar caramelizes best, however, by the same token also burns rather quickly. So be patient, keep the flame at a distance and get a feeling for how the sugar reacts first. Don't worry too much though, even if some of the sugar goes up in flames, it will still taste great. Remember our burnt Basque cheesecake episode? That was also surprisingly tasty, wasn't it? Transfer the crème brûlée into the fridge one last time till the burnt sugar firms up, which usually takes around 45 to 60 minutes. And there you go, a big portion of delicious creaminess topped up with a crunchy layer of sweetness. Many thanks to our French friends for sharing crème brûlée with us. Bon appétit!
Thank you, my French friends, very delicious. Wow.